Blessings on top of more blessings. We are live with the Credit Ninjas. I am JJ, also known as Mr. Royal Credit, and I'm here with Mr. 365.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely tapping in, ready to go ahead and give y'all so much game, so much information on how to go ahead and elevate and penetrate. Like my boy said, I am Chauncey, Mr. 365, one half of the Credit Ninjas, man. About to go ahead and just drop these jewels on them, man. I'm so excited to be here, my brother. I know you are. How are you feeling and thinking?
Hey, man, I'm nothing less than amazing, bro. Everything is going well. I'm just excited the fact that, first of all, you took the time out. You know, you always do that at the same time. The community that we have built and that we are building is literally something that I've inspired to do, that you have in your heart, that you be able to share the information. So at the same time, like I say, man, I'm excited, my brother.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it just goes from iron sharpened iron, seeing how you was moving in your lane, and then how I was moving. It only made sense to go ahead and combine forces. We all know that strength is power in numbers. So let's go ahead and just talk numbers and let's just go ahead and get saucy like how we do, man.
All right, let's get it, man. Those of you that do not know the Credit Ninjas, what we do is 2 to 3 times out of the year, we have a class where we teach people how to manufacture spend. If you don't know what that is, you might hear the term of liquidating a credit card, or what we like to call credit to cash. So there's specific cards that we utilize to liquidate these cards. And if you know, you know, because some of these cards, when you liquidate them, you're able to get a certain amount of points. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you some of the cards that we utilize and then share some of the experiences so that you can now capitalize and go ahead and get reward points so that you can use those points to fly for free, get free hotel stays, spend like spend money on economy cars and drive off in exotics. We got to understand that some of these cards, most of these cards, partner with other corporations. You know what I mean? So just think about it. Hilton, they partner with other cards or banks so that now you can utilize these points and get these free hotel stays. And same thing with companies like Six. You know, like they partner with other banks so that they now you can drive off in exotics. Like these are things
Right.
that we got to know and we got to understand when you utilize these cards.
Right, and it's a good thing that you touched on that. It's just another way to upgrade your living. My brother just touched on as far as the cars, but it goes all the way across the board. When you're able to go ahead and utilize this in groceries and your just the overall spend of your household, you can go ahead and bring down um, your monthly overhead. So if you're able to bring down your monthly overhead, you're able to invest in other vehicles so you can go ahead and accumulate more cash flow. And the MS is just basically one of the forms that we utilize, so that way we can put ourselves in much better position, so that way we can live smarter and push away from that terrible mindset of we got to work harder.
Absolutely. Work smarter, not harder. And I'm glad you talked about groceries and limiting or reducing that overhead, because when I first started learning about manufacturer spending, of course I had a couple mentors and I had great business partners like Mr. 365. But at the same time, like I partnered, not partnered. Well, I guess you could say partner with Navy Federal. Anytime I go to a relationship with a bank, I consider it as a partnership. Okay,
Let's
because I'm
go.
giving you money and I'm expecting some things in return. Because we all know when the bank gets this money isn't really this there. They create a ledger, they take your money and they go invest it in the foreign exchange market, or they invest it into real estate, whatever it may be. So we got to understand that we need something in return. We're not just putting our money in the banks and just letting it sit and not have no idea of how we're going to leverage. We have a plan on how we're leveraging the bank system. So I say that to say, have that mindset of leveraging. When I first got with Navy Federal, I got $15,000 credit card. What did I do? This is when I started getting the manufacturer spending. I literally started to use that credit card every single day, to the point where I was literally liquidating 120,000 a month. You can think about how many times I'm actually liquidating these cards. So I started off 60,000, and then I just started doing it more and more and more, to the point where, uh, in my mind, on the third month, I was going to get a credit line increase, but it didn't even take 3 months. It took 2 months.
Let's
Out of
go.
nowhere,
Let's
they
go.
contacted me. You know what I'm saying? So that went to 15 to 22,000, right? But at the same time, I had good habits at that point in time. It started to get to the point where it's getting out of control, and then I got behind. You know what I mean? When I got behind, now it's like, okay, where is the extra 5,000? Because what I was
Mm,
doing was liquidating the credit cards and paying them right back to the credit card so that I can now, yes, I'm getting reward points, but actually I'm still fulfilling the money that I was utilizing, or the credit that I was utilizing. And if you come up short, that's going to throw off everything. And that goes back to our spending habits. Like, if your spending habits aren't in place, you can literally get behind, and now you're going to have to do what? Pay interest. So if you don't have a 0%, if you have a 0% interest card for 12 months, 9 months, whatever it may be, now you're spending more money. I'm not like, this is expenses on top of the fees that you have to pay for Simons. Shout out to Simons, right? This is,
right,
and the fees that you have to pay for the money orders. Like,
right,
this is
right,
real. We got these things have to be documented, or you're going to get behind like I did. But it didn't take no time for me to get back right. But at the same time, I say these things to say, yes, leverage, but at the same time, have the mindset of changing your spending habits so that you can be responsible and be disciplined when you're liquidating these cards.
yeah,
And
that's a good thing
also,
you said that, the discipline part, because
yeah,
we're gonna also show you how to hide your utilization. You know what I mean? So just in case, we understand life's happen, just like how my brother explained, you were able to get behind in certain situations because life just comes at you like that. So having the information of knowing how to hide your utilization can help, go ahead and put a ceiling over you, I guess, just to make sure, or give yourself some type of parachute so you'll have protection, and until you get your situation back together. But it all starts with discipline. If any of the strategies and techniques that we show you, everything definitely starts with discipline. Because again, we do show you how to liquidate large numbers. You'll be able to touch 50,000, 60,000, 70,000, depending on where you're at with your credit. We also touch on those points where we show you how to control what's on your credit report.
yes,
Because we utilize that personal side, and once we utilize that personal side, and we start building up these limits, like my brother said, it didn't even take 3 months. They was calling him like, "Hey, we like the way you moving. You want some more money?" That's exactly how it be. So when we want to take advantage of those type of relationships, and then we'll switch over there to the business side, so we can go ahead and get even larger limits, and the type of parachute that you give yourself on the business side. Now you can move some of that stuff from your personal side over there on your business side. Now your DTI isn't high.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so so
I'm glad.
again. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We're going to touch and give on it. I apologize for cutting you off, bro. I just had to
No,
make sure that I segue just to, making sure that we're giving y'all a clear picture of how you should be moving, how you shouldn't be moving, and yes, it still takes discipline now.
absolutely. And I'm glad you did bring that up, because it's important. Like, I was utilizing my personal credit at the time. And yes, I was getting these high limits. I got from 15 to 22 to 27. Like, that was easy at that point. But at the same time, that's just personal credit. Personal credit is literally supposed to be the foundation. And then you got
Hmm.
to graduate to business credit. Because when you graduate to business credit, you said it. Now you can hide your utilization. And some people think like, "Damn, okay, I utilize business credit. Do I have to PG?" Well, absolutely. If you want high limits, you know what I mean. But at the same time, there are different ways where you don't have to PG, but you're not going to get high limits. You're just strategizing so that eventually you can get high limits. But if you already got a solid personal credit, then you can come out the gate with these high limits by PGing, personal guarantor. All right.
Right, right.
At the same time, business credit is where you need to go, because that's when you're getting your 0% all across the board. You can There are some very little 0% for personal, but you don't want that DTI. You know what I mean? You don't want that. You want to basically go on business credit, liquidate those cards, and keep it pushing. Put
That's
everything in
right.
your business and then graduate. If you want to talk about trust, that's a whole nother thing, and I'm not the person to talk to about it, but I can send you to somebody that can. You feel me? But at the same time, when it comes to the credit ninjas, we talk about personal credit, business credit, and liquidating these cards. And specifically which cards. I know Chauncey got some cards under his belt. I don't know if you want to reveal. If
Oh
you
man,
up for
we
that?
can run it. I mean, we can do Amexes. Shoot, we can get into the newbies. Um, we got the new Boost Cash app with the Square Cash Debt card, which is lovely. That gives you certain specific categories that you can shop with, and they'll give you a certain amount of money back. Sometimes 2 to 3%, depending on how you use it. Of course, I'm a American Express. I definitely kick it with American Express, but it's not necessarily for the cash back. We talked about groceries, so I would use my American Express Blue business card for my groceries, and you do get only a set amount of numbers. And some of those cards that we were talking about with the no PG, those are like cards like Sam's card. You can go get you a Sam's card. You can use that for gas. You can use it for traveling. The cash back on that is like 5% cash back, 3% on the gas and on the traveling and dining. So once again, that's a card that you can use for food. I'm a big foodie. So it just depends. The way that you utilize these tools is just a better really to do what you're doing already.
Yeah,
Within our class, we go into it even deeper, where okay, if you was already finna pay a bill with cash, we tell you why not use a credit card. Why not use a credit card? Why not use a credit card to go ahead and pay that bill, earn them points, and then take that cash and pay back that card? So
yeah,
you're not changing your lifestyle. You're just moving more responsible. So that way, the purchase and the money spent is beneficial to you, which it should be because it's all based on your credit. And that's just a
yeah,
type of way of being mindful that how you should be leveraging your credit. So
yeah,
yeah, I mean, we definitely can touch on that, and even you. I mean, we both talk big about leveraging, but I know you're press upon leveraging your personal credit and getting in position and utilizing your personal credit the right way, and the importance of setting up your personal credit the right way so it can be leveraged the right way. Excuse me. I had to make
yeah,
sure I
yeah.
corrected
For
that.
sure. No, no, that's real. You hit it right on the head because and when I talk about personal credit, I come into the mindset as poverty ends with me and wealth begins with me, and I say
Come
that
on.
simply because you're attached. First of all, you're born with the social. So what does that mean? Like you got access to credit right out the gate. This is 100. You got access to credit right out the gate. You get a social, you turn 18, now you can go apply for different. And if your parents know, there's certain cards where there's no minimum age where you can be added as an authorized user. So when you're 12 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old, your parents can add you as an authorized user. And if you know anything, if not you, but people know anything about legacy, like legacy, we literally want our ceiling to be our kids' floor. So like they shouldn't have to start from scratch. Like there has to be a
Right.
point where we literally have to have a mindset shift, and that mindset shift when it comes to credit, like why are you using debit cards? There's no point in using a debit card. That's the biggest scam that banks have. Like they,
Come on, talk to me.
like you're using money that you can't get no benefit from, and at the same time, like why not use a credit card, personal credit card, get some points from it, and then later on, you can the money you already have. If you're a hustler, you can flip the money you already got, and then you can go ahead and pay that credit card back. You feel what
Notice
I'm
you
saying?
said get the
Like
points. Notice you
yes,
said
and
get the
still get
points.
the points,
It's not
and then
getting a credit card that doesn't pay you back no rewards. There's a lot of people who go get the cards and they're not even getting nothing back from it.
yeah,
So So
And if
what?
you're
So
trying
what? You got an inquiry for nothing. Now you got an inquiry for a card that's not even beneficial to you. This is
to,
this this is how the system was set up, and this is information that we were never told. So one of the things that I wanted to change, things that I feel like I was late to learn, I'm gonna make sure that my kids know first.
yeah,
Yeah,
facts.
you feel what I'm saying. So just to go ahead and better catapult them into position, so they'll know how to move. The authorized user. I mean, let's imagine that. Now, if you've already done put a child on the card for authorized user, by the time they hit 16, 17, their credit is straight. It should be A1. And then we can go ahead and start running other plays. If again you came through the class, you learned how to liquidate these cards. You know how to hide your utilization. So now your child has a card. Let's say they want to go ahead and put money down for their first house. They got to put that 10%. Well, you know how to liquidate these cards. You can go ahead and put that 10% down for that house, and then hide the utilization. Also more games, since I mean, this is what we come here to do, is to drop this house on you.
You do.
You know, we
This is
not we not- we not going to just have our child go and buy one property, because we understand we think different now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take advantage of all these programs. The first time buyers, we're going to go ahead and go that route so we can get that assistance from that FHA loan real quick, first time home buyer. But we're going to liquidate the cards so we could get that 10%. So we're not coming out of pocket. We're using the bank's money to go ahead and acquire this asset. We might stay there. Preferably, we're not getting a single family, three
you
family.
know? Yeah,
We're
yeah,
going to get a multi-family. So that way
yeah.
that unit is paying for itself. So that way we're going to still stay there for a year anyway, and then we're going to switch that over to a conventional loan. And we're going to rinse and repeat. So by the time your child is in 23, 24, they can have 5 to 6 doors already that's generating income uh, for them, which was all started by you properly setting them up as a child, as an adolescent, by putting them as an authorized user. This is what we're talking about when we say the game of information. I just wanted to make sure that I painted a clear illustration of what I mean, so that way that y'all can have a real life example, and how you can move with simplicity once you're financially literate, once you learn and know how money moves.
Exactly. And we gotta understand that mindset shift to find a way for your money to work for you so you don't have to work for it. You feel what I'm
Right,
saying? And that's like these things are important. And not only you have your kids set up if you literally understand what legacy really is, but at the same time, think about this, like leverage on a whole nother level. You literally now can partner with your kids. Like we the like in the like older days, like people was putting bills in kids' name. Like that's out. Like set your kids up so that you can now partner with them. Y'all both
right.
go. Somebody put up the money and somebody put up the credit, and now you keeping these assets in house, and then your kids literally, if they want to go to college, okay, they go to college, whatever. Even though I'm not like, I okay, first of all, I've been to college. I've been to 4 different colleges. It took me 6 years to graduate. So you can imagine what type of student loans that I had. You feel what I'm saying? And I did that simply. I went to college not for me, but I went to college for my mom. I'm thinking I'm going to college just to make her happy because she poured into me so much throughout my life. And at the same time, like I'm saying this to say, like, don't necessarily do things for somebody else. Do something for you so that you can now be fulfilled and you can give them what they want. And me not knowing, no matter what I was going to do that was positive and successful, my mom was always going to be happy anyway. But in my head, I'm
Mm.
thinking, like, I'm going to go to school for her. So I basically got into debt thinking that I'm going to make her happy when she was happy all along, thinking that I was doing what I wanted to do in life. So this gets deeper than liquidating cards, because once you get over that mindset, you won't be in debt and you'll be able to do things for yourself so that you can now pour into people. You have to pour into yourself before you can pour in it. You can't pour in somebody else in an empty glass. Like, how you gonna pour in somebody else and talk about money, building assets, and you in debt? You drowning in debt. You know what I mean? And
But the
that's
worst
something
part is
we gotta understand.
the worst part is when you pour into that cup and that cup may have holes in it.
Oh
So now
God.
you have that, and now you feeling like you got to work even harder to go ahead and continue to pour, and it's steadily running
Powerful.
out. And those holes are just a lack of information, because what you don't know now can cost you more later on.
Word, word, word.
I just had
Absolutely.
to throw that in there, family. I just had
I'm
to throw
glad.
that in there. You know, just
This is how we ride. I'm glad you did, because what you think about, you bring about. You know what I mean?
come on.
And the enemy is the enemy. So if you don't if you don't know these things, hey, it's gonna be a disaster for you. It's a recipe for disaster, is what they say. So I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
drop real quick a couple cards that if you don't have your business set up, or if you're looking, if you have your a strong personal credit file and you're looking to get business credit. I know Mr. 365 did drop some cards, but I'm gonna drop a little extra, so 0% credit cards. We got U.S. Bank. This is, I got my notes out, so y'all get your pens ready. We got U.S. Bank for 20 months, 0% 20 months. Like, what can you do
Mm,
with 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 for 20 months though? 0%. If you cannot flip this money in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, you don't really need no credit. You need to work on your mindset, get around people that know how to do this, and then leverage them. All right, because if you put it in your hands and you don't know what to do with it, it's another recipe for disaster. We also got, like my brother said, the Amex Blue, but that's 12 months. That's a 0% for 12 months. And there's another thing: when you get authorized user, only reason why I'm Amex Games, because Mr. 365, he put me as an authorized user. I don't even know if he knows that I'm still on there. But at the same time, like, these are things that we got to understand: building relationships and then capitalizing on those relationships. Once again, we talk about leverage. All right, even when you have 9 to 5, I'm not telling you not to have a 9 to 5, because I think 9 to 5s are amazing, especially if you love your
right,
job. If you hate your
right,
job, then that you gotta do something about it. But if you love your job, leverage your job, because at the same time, your job is leveraging you at this point. So leverage your job to now go get a business. Now use that money to go get a business. Now use that money to go get you a pledge loan from Navy Federal. Put that money in there for go get a pledge loan. Put and pay that money back in 90 days. Right? Pay 90% back in 90 days, and then gradually pay them $1. I guarantee you your credit score is going to shoot up. And at the same time,
mm,
we always talk about credit scores, but it's really the data points. So that pledge loan is now an installment loan that will help you with the 10% of the algorithm of how your credit profile is calculated. So when you know these things, now you can set up a cool, solid profile, and then when it
hey,
comes to credit, it's easy work, man.
yeah, hold on. We ain't gonna run that back, bro. You got to go back and break that down slower, bro. Because that was a baguette, man. And I know a lot of people who that probably just went over so many heads, man. That just went over so many heads. 'Cause so I mean, if we're gonna talk about it, let's really talk about it. Let's hit that profile and the power of going ahead and actually running that play, and the primary line that you get from running that play.
Yes, absolutely. So we got to understand that you have to have a mixture of installment loans and a revolving credit. Like, it's important because, like I say, when it comes to this algorithm, and also, I don't want to get too deep into this, but we also got to recognize that there's literally 12, 13 plus FICO algorithms going on.
Right.
And if you know your bank is using a certain algorithm like FICO 8, you know that they look at certain data points on your profile. And we talk about data points, we're talking about your payment history, which got to be 100%. We talk about your inquiries, keep them below. People say below 5. I say keep it at 2. 4, you're okay. Ugh. But at the same
Pushing it.
but at the same time, keep them as low as possible. Talk about your history. You got to have 5 to 6 years. If you don't have that, go get an authorized user. But you got to have more primary accounts, like Mr. 365 said, than you do have authorized users. So hypothetically speaking, have 5 to 6 primaries. Go have 1 to 2 authorized users. Eventually, you want to have at least 10 to 17 accounts. But at the same time, it's based upon which algorithm or FICO score these banks are utilizing. And you only know that if you go ask. And I guarantee you, when it comes to building relationships, if you go ahead and talk to the banker, ask them these
Come
questions.
on.
Ask them. And if they
Why
don't
you
know,
acting scared to talk to them? They be acting scary to talk to them. They work there for you. You know what I
yes,
mean? Yeah, that's the point
yes,
of being in a relationship. That's you coming home to your spouse and y'all not talking.
absolutely. You don't know what's going on. You don't know why you got denied. Like,
Come on.
why? Because you think that they're looking at one a data point when they're looking at a total different FICO score. Like they got FICO 3, FICO 3.5. There's so many, but you only know if you ask. So here's the
Right.
thing, real quick. So while you're building the relationship with the bank, it could be even over the phone, whatever it may be. If it's a local bank, I highly suggest you go and talk to them in person because now they look at you and they see you coming in cashing checks, whatever you're doing with your account, you're doing, but they see you. But when you have these
Mm-hmm.
conversations like which credit reporting agency do you approve from? Which FICO score do you utilize? First of all, they know that you know because you're asking the question. And if they don't know, they're gonna go ask somebody that does know, and then they're gonna look at you like, man, he's asking questions that I don't even know. So when they get the answer, now you just put them on game on the systems that they're utilizing. So now
Right. Right.
if you really finesse and move accordingly, you can build a relationship with who? The underwriters. Now you're talking to the underwriters who actually make the decisions. Come on, man.
Come on. Come
Be
on.
nice. And if you don't like to go in person, this is what we're doing. We also teach this in class. I'm not gonna give y'all everything because you gotta tap into the credit to cash master class where the credit ninjas really give you the game. But at the same time, when we're actually going and getting approved for these cards, if you already understand what the algorithm really is and what FICO scores they're really utilizing, now you can leverage that to your advantage and you can apply it at night. So if your profile is thick enough and it correlates with the actual FICO score, you apply at night, and now you're going algorithm versus algorithm. So now the algorithm is just going to pick up when you're applying with automatic underwriting, and it's just going to calculate your profile and approve you. So now you're not just getting approved for one card, you're getting approved for 15 cards, and if you're smart enough, you'll actually categorize them in which credit reporting agencies they're pulling from. And you only get 3 or 4 inquiries when you just
Come
got
on.
approved for 15 cards.
Come on, come on. So that's the play when we running these 0% interest. I mean,
Yeah.
we not finished. We not finished. I just wanted to double back on that just to give y'all some more insight to make sure that you getting this full plate of game over here that we feeding you properly. Since you touched on federal, did you say how many months? Did you tell them it's the 0% 1.9 APR for 12 months?
Nope, I didn't.
My bad. Well,
No.
there it is. Navy Federal, you know what I mean? It's 0% to 1.998 APR for 12 months. Um, we also got Chase Freedom. Chase Freedom is
I love Chase.
another, yeah,
Chase.
another
Real
0%.
real quick with Chase, while we're there, because I know we can go on and on. With Chase, this is what y'all need to do. And I say need to because a lot of people are doing it wrong. When you get these points, stop stop paying your credit card back with the points. Like now it's like really no point unless you're really behind. That's, you know what I mean? Like use these points by shopping inside of their portal. So when you shop inside their portal, now this is how we're flying for free. Like this is how you're getting hotels for free because back to relationships. They built these relationships with certain corporations so that if you shop inside their portal, now they know you're utilizing these points for whatever service that you need. But go ahead, bro.
Right. No, that's major key, and not only that, uh, a lot of these cards you can shift the points from other cards to other cards, just like with the Amex. I'm gonna touch on this. We're still gonna give you some more interest free card, but since we're touching on this, the credit, the status matching. Like I take some of my Amex points. Well, fuck it, I might as well go ahead and really give you the game. Uh, my Amex, the reason one of the reasons I love Amex is because you can flip them points so many different ways. I can move my Amex to my Barclays card, which is a airline card. That's one of the cards I utilize so that way I can travel for free with American Airlines. But I can also move those points over there to them and combine those points. So now those points go even further. My brother said it's not wise to use those points to pay back your card because you're not getting as of a high point value for your points, if that makes sense. And another way that you can utilize your Amex points is if you got the Charles Schwab card with your Amex. Now you can go ahead and utilize those points um, and move them to your brokerage account, and now you can invest those points. So now your money is making money. So the money that you spent, you earn points from that, and then now you was able to take those points and you were able to move them over there to your brokerage. So now that money can continue to make money over there in the stock market for you,
Yeah.
and all by using your original purchase. Again, these are the ways that you can move that's again beneficial to you. Um, but back to these 0% cards, I want to say on that Chase, it's 15 months. If I didn't say that, the 0% interest for 15 months. Let's see, who else? Oh, I guess we'll throw them boys out there. We ain't gonna be that way about them, but Bank of America, man.
Okay.
They got the 3% cash backs, which is okay. You thought I was going to say the bank of the
Yeah, yeah.
I they ain't getting no love, right?
Oh, man, yeah, I'm good with them, bro. I'm cool. They got that 3%, but they customer service is trash. That's another thing, y'all. The customer service is key because if they don't work with you, you're not able to like get what you need that they say that they're going to provide. There's no point because it's going to cause a headache. And I say headache, I'm
Right,
talking about like not getting the money that you need. I'm not talking about going and trying to get 10,000. I'm talking about 2, 3 thousand. Like we're not we're not gonna talk about it. We just
right,
don't just
right. It's
understand if the bank you're utilizing, if the customer service is trash, it's better for you to now go ahead and find another bank. And when we say bank, I highly suggest everybody start to use, if you don't use them already, credit unions and regional banks, and then work your way
yes,
up to these other banks. And one more thing with Chase, if you have the Chase Sapphire, you can now move these points just like my brother was
mm,
saying, moving points. You can move into the to a Ritz Carlton card, also the Bonvoy card. So
come on.
that's just something. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah, definitely take advantage of that. I'm not even going to go into that right there because just know they got some nice hotels. They got some nice
Yeah,
hotels.
yeah. A1.
Yeah, Discover is also another good card, and also with Discover, a lot of people whose credit isn't in position, that is a good card to just have because it kind of allows you to build up your credit and you still get rewards at the same time. I mean, and it really just again depends on what all that you're trying to do. We got the Digital Federal Credit Union, since we talked about credit unions. A lot of these credit unions, those of you that are in debt, start transferring some of that debt with the transfer balance. A lot of these banks, they allow you to transfer your debt with no fees. And
Hmm.
there's also some of these credit unions that would give you cash back for moving the debt over there,
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
real.
still 0% interest and no fees.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
So
And
yeah,
go ahead.
no, go ahead, bro. Go ahead, go ahead.
Since we on the cards and banks, we also got some no doc banks, and what that means, you literally use no doc, like no
Mm,
documents. You just go in there based off of your credit score, credit profile, and get approved for whatever products that you need or that they have. We're talking about PNC, and this is a kept secret by a lot of people. And I say that because there's people in our circle that know about these banks. And here's another thing, real quick. So when these new, I'm not saying PNC is new, but when new credit unions come out, and regional banks come out, they have a certain amount of money, or quote unquote certain amount of credit, quote unquote money, that they have to distribute. So when they come out and these new banks come out, you hear about new banks, go apply for them, because you have a better chance of getting approved, because they need to get rid of that money within a time frame. At the same time, I'm not gonna talk about debt, but I said it so real quick. Even with the debt, when a bank has a certain amount of debt, they have to transfer that, because they can't have too much debt or else they'll get audited. And then this goes into credit repair, which you can do on your own. You don't need to pay nobody, but if you want to save time and stress, energy, whatever, you can definitely go pay somebody. But understanding that when this debt is created and these banks have it, they sell it to other collection agencies because they don't want to get audited. They have too much debt. They don't want to get, when the bank gets audited, they have to go penny for penny. This is
Mm-hmm.
the worst thing. They like, this is something they do not want to get into. So this is why they hire these collection agencies and part of these collection agencies. But back on the credit. So when it comes to these banks, they have to give you a certain amount of money. So when you see these little small credit unions pop up, capitalize, leverage them. You know what I mean? If you have $200, $300, go ahead and put that, open a checking account, put the money in there, and go do what you do. So no doc banks. We got PNC, and we also got Truist, 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 Truist. No doc banks. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Also U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank not only has that 0% for 20 months, but also they have a line of credit that you can utilize with no docs. Just free game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just free game, just free game. I mean, there's so much ways to utilize these, and we just really giving you a smorgasbord of information on how we utilize these cards. We also use sign-up bonuses. There's a lot of cards that give you sign-on bonus, and if done properly, you can create a stream of income just from the sign-on bonuses.
Yeah, that's
Like you brought up the Chase
yeah,
Sapphire card. Excuse me. I think that one gives you what, 70 points, 70,000 points. When you sign up, and then let's say you got the City Premier, that's another 80,000 points right there.
yeah, yeah.
You
That's
know,
real.
so that's 150,000 points that you just accumulated just that quick.
Hmm.
Then we got the Capital One venture. That's another 75. You know, of course, the American Express. They stay giving points. Any of y'all who's credited in position and you want to get let into the Amex game, holla at us. We got a person on the inside, so we can go ahead and get you connected with Amex, and you can really go ahead and start taking advantage. We the platinum, that's 125,000 points that you will get. Your gold, that would be 75,000 plus a 250 statement. Once you hit that threshold, and which again we show you how to get these bonuses.
Yeah, yeah,
For a while, it really didn't make sense. You could sign up for our Credit to Cash Masterclass. We show you which cards to go get. We show you how to hit these bonuses. So in return, the information that you came to get would turn around and pay you right back for attending
yeah.
the class.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And we got some people that have attended the class, and they hit us, 2 weeks later, like, hey man, here's our testimony. We're like, man, it's truly grateful. It's yes, you have to pay, but at the same time, the impact is is beyond what you pay. And that's for a reason, because some people say you got to pay to play, and some people say that you got to pay attention. I don't really agree about pay attention, because I got so much free game from people and I'm paying attention. You know what I mean? I'm paying my time, by all means. I'm paying my time, my respect, and my energy, but I'm paying attention. So at the same time, you don't really necessarily have to pay to play, but if you don't have the game and to shorten your learning curve, I'm paying that dollar. I've paid $20,000 for mentorship so I can now shorten my learning curve. I paid 5,000. I paid 7,000.
Right.
Like, I don't mind paying any. And guess what? You think I just came out and had a wad of $10,000, $20,000 to pay for? No, I'm swiping. because I know the information that I'm going to get. Like, I know that I can get that money right back and then pay that loan or that credit card right back. It's just a no-brainer. At the same time, whatever works for you, you have to know what makes sense for you, because what makes sense for me might not make sense for you. You have to leave the nest to fly. And if you don't leave the nest, you're going to be chirping in the same box for a long time. Also, real quick, you got to surround yourself around people that are smarter than you, people that are
Mm,
doing better than you, because at the same time you'll cap yourself off. If you're sitting around people that are on a low vibration, or people that are just now getting into something that you've already learned, you're gonna, yes, you can teach them, but you just cap yourself off on how much you can learn. So I just highly
right,
suggest you get around other people. And guess what? I swipe myself. I swipe credit cards to get around these people. I use my credit cards for access. I use my credit cards for assets and information. You know what I mean? I very rarely am I using my credit cards for liability. Very rarely. At the same time, even when I'm buying groceries, like Mr. 365 earlier, if you use plastique, you can get paid for shopping. You can get paid
so,
for
so
grocery
my
shopping.
Stu's gonna be upset with you, man. You giving out the game, man.
So like these are just things that we're teaching in class. Also, I do want to give a huge shout out to Access Capital, because you got to understand there's different ways to build business credit. There's so many different ways. You got to know what works for you. You get me? At the same time, you got to have a solid personal foundation. You gotta know what works for you. If you don't know what works for you, you're gonna fumble the bag. I've seen people fumble the bag, and it's definitely a a hard situation to get past. It's an obstacle you got to get past to get back on top, because you fumble the bag with the banks. Now you're working with these interests that they're giving you, and now you're literally paying them, which I hate to see people pay these interests. Even me, like when I had to pay the 5,000, like I was like, where's this 5 grand at? Like, where? I had to pay interest, and it just irks me, because I know how the system goes, and we talk about this all the time. You learn the system, know the system, and you leverage the system. You got to use
Right.
these three things in order to be on top. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that, Mr. 365. You got something you want to leave with, my brother?
No, no. Just make sure that you're staying focused and your actions are intentional, and you're not
Yeah.
focusing on the distractions that surround you. Go ahead and soak up the game. Surround yourself by like-minded individuals that's going to constantly motivate you to keep going, and not only that, point you in a good direction so you can elevate. Um, and to tap in. Definitely follow me on IG, Chauncey underscore Mr. Underscore 365. You can tap in on Facebook. The links are in the bio if you want to go ahead and jump on to Credit to Cash class and get even more detailed. For those that want to build out business credit, the link is also in the bio. We got the ebooks that you can do it yourself. But if you want that personal handheld process, we got you covered on that. You know, we'll help you build out your business credit. Not only that, but we'll also help you get funding in the end. Definitely tap in to my brother's bio, Mr. Royal Credit. Check him out, Facebook, Instagram, all major platforms. This is simplicity. Check us out on all major platforms. We got the summit coming up. We
Yeah,
got the
summer's
summit. Come
coming.
on, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that from the on the 19th to the 23rd, and this is huge because we literally brought out 11 different people that will teach you 11 different avenues of cash flow.
Come on.
And at the same time, all of these avenues are teaching people how to cash flow with zero money, right? At the same time, you got to have a solid personal foundation. If you don't have a solid personal credit foundation, I got somebody that literally will go in and dissect your whole credit profile and literally give you all the game you need so that you can capitalize on these 11 different cash flowing opportunities. So definitely tap in with that. Of course, that link is in my bio as well. And at the same time, if you also hit Chauncey on his DM, you'll definitely get the access to that as well. But that's huge. That's 19th to the 23rd, and it's a cash flow transformation summit. And I literally brought most of my circle so that they can teach, and at the same time, like they don't hold back. So it's literally going to be crazy, man.
Yeah, yeah, definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, that's really all that we have, man. And we look forward to seeing y'all on the other side, man. Make sure that you live in the now state of mind. That's no
Yeah.
opportunity wasted when I say the now state of mind. So definitely
Let's
go ahead and tap in and execute, and shoot, let's get it. Let's build.
execute in your season and live your life forever. You got to understand where you are in your season. We got the fall, we got the winter, we got the spring, we got the summer. You can't sit up here and think that you're in a place where you're supposed to be planting seeds and thinking that you're gonna reap the benefits like right then and there. You gotta know where you are in life. And if you don't spend an ounce of discipline, you will literally spend tons of regret, and that's not something that you want to live with. You know what I mean? So definitely capitalize. And like I say, man, we're headed to the top. Bottom way too crowded, but we will never look down at anybody unless we're willing to help you up. Blessings on top of more blessings. Credit Ninjas, check them out. Let's get it.
Come on, let's get it.